Each one of these blades is about 120 feet long on a tower, and they weigh 7.5 tons apiece. So what's 7.5 times 3? They don't look any different than the rest of them. Okay, I gotta watch. Here's the gravel road coming up. We're gonna turn south, or north, I mean, north. Where all their wind techs are based out of here, and also on either side of the road are the collector substations. There's actually 2 collector subs here, but one is for the Baldwin project, the other is for the Wilton 1 and Wilton 2 projects. Don't hit the ditch. Russell. Okay, good. Okay, and then we'll just take a left here. And then you can see here, you get another look. Boy, driving into that son of a bear. You can see the delivery line from this substation going all the way over to the tap station. It's kind of hard to see right now, but it's there. The power that Leland-Olds generates generally goes 2 places, Fort Thompson, South Dakota, and Watertown, South Dakota. And at that point, that's where this plant ties into the transmission grid. It's different than where the wind farm ties in, but regardless, they both tie into the transmission grid at various points.
Model of the facility that we're touring right now, the coal gasification plant.
If you're taking pictures or video or anything, you really don't allow that in the model room. So I know
in that building there. Off on the way behind the plant, you can see up on the berm there, you can't tell that it's a triangle-shaped building, but it's the long building. You've got the little doors, and you can see the shadows off the ceiling. That's the live coal storage building. We keep 120,000 tons of coal in there. So as coal comes from the mine, and it's gone through the separation units, we store the coal there. And then from there we bring it in to the gasifiers on the plant site. We're looking at again, still the admin building. You can see there's a little trailer in the parking lot. Now as we go farther, you see where the motorcycles are parked. That is a workout center. All of our facilities have we call it a wellness center. So if you want to go work out before, after, or any time, employees have 24-hour access to that, and that's where that's located. Then the next point is right by the orange windsock. That's the main security entrance. This plant is secured. It's fenced all the way around, so you can't get into the plant site unless you go through that gate right there, or you'd have to go over towards where the anhydrous trucks load. But we have everybody badged, especially like vendors and the guys who drive anhydrous trucks. They're all badged. They have security cards, so when they come on site, we know they're there, and then they can start their own anhydrous pumps to load their trucks when it's all done with electronic cards. The next building is the chem chem lab, as Joan was mentioning, that's where we have our chemists who are doing daily analysis of the coal, of the byproducts and things like that. As soon as the train leaves here, the train of coal to go to Leland Olds, we have samples in the lab already. And by the time that train gets to Leland Olds over in Stanton, we've emailed the results of that analysis so they know where to stockpile that coal, so when they go to burn it in the boiler, they can blend it or do whatever they need to do with it. The building now in the foreground is what we call our field office building. That's where most of our cadre of engineers are housed there. The building directly behind is the warehouse, one of the largest warehouses in the upper Midwest. I think we've got something like $20 or $30 million worth of inventory there, from basically tissues to spare iron. And now as we creep along a little farther, there's another building, that's the maintenance building here. Obviously maintenance goes on in there, so a lot of work goes there. Right behind there you see the two chimneys now, the two tall chimneys, and then you see this cylindrical tubing, it's actually ductwork. That's part of the new additions we put on for removing sulfur dioxide from the emissions. Because, like I said earlier, we didn't need it originally, and so that was one of the additions we put on. And then that scrubber produces what's called ammonium sulfate. The reagent we use to extract sulfur dioxide is anhydrous ammonia. So the two will react to form ammonium sulfate. We process that further, and then it becomes, we sell it as a granular fertilizer under the trademark name of Daxol 45. So if you ever see that name, Daxol 45, the only place that fertilizer comes from is the gasification plant, and it is a granular fertilizer. Now, as we've talked a lot, the next building right in the foreground here, the dark tan with the silver little structures on the end of it, that's the CO2 building. The compressors are located in there. There's 3 compressors. These compressors are each driven by 19,000 horse electric motors, and it's an 8-stage compressor. So as the CO2 comes in, the big pipeline right to the left of it there, that's atmospheric pressure CO2. We compress it to 2,700 pounds, and then from the compressor building, and it goes on its way to Canada. But as it's getting compressed, each stage of the compression cycle, that CO2 gets hot. So, as it gets hot, we got to cool it off before it goes into the next stage of compression. And that's what these silver structures on this end are. You can see 3 sets of them. Those are the coolers. So, as the CO2 goes through like stage 1, it gets hot, gets cooled, goes back to stage 2, gets hot, bring it out the cooler to stage 3, so on until we get through the 8th stage. And then on the very end, the north end here of these silver structures, that's where the CO2 goes in the ground. You can kind of see a gray of pipes right at ground level. That is the most photographed pipe in the world, because the signs on it show carbon dioxide and then the arrow going down, meaning that's where it goes into the pipe. And everybody who comes out here, we've had last month we had a news crew from South Korea here, and they had that's the first thing I wanted to say, that really tells the story. And then as we move along, the white tanks here, those are the storage tanks for oxygen and our other byproducts. And then of course, the building next to it is the air separation building, or as we call the oxygen plant. And you see those big silver scoops. In the model they were red, but here it's silver, and that's where the air is being pulled into the building, and then it's compressed and then sent over to the gasifier building. The Great Plains Synfuels plant is one of the many customers of Antelope Valley, but about 10% of Unit 2 capacity comes over here to run this plant. So the power from Unit 2 goes to this substation here, and The load here is about 110 megawatts. So it's pretty steady load for this unit, or for the Hamlet Valley. So if you ever get into a basin trivia contest, the shortest line on record that we have is 4 towers. It's called the ABS to AMG line, and it's these 4 towers that hop across the park. Okay, now we can move in a little bit more there. The next thing I want to show you is there's 2 big ponds of water. And this is raw water that we store from the lake. And from these ponds, we pump water to our water treatment plants. You see some geodesic domes right over here. That's our primary water treatment. And then from there, we send the water not only to the Antelope Valley, but also to the gasification plant. Cross-country chart.
question? Yep. Yes, we do 2 seams or 1. This is the top seam up here that they've taken off. Yep. And then when we go down into the pit, we'll be able to see the bottom seam. Yep. The depth of each seam, the top is about 4 to 7 feet thick, and then the bottom is about 10 to 12 feet thick. And the average overburden in our area is
we're in a strip mine. We call mines where we get the call for the power plant that we were at earlier in the video. We were originally going to get a tour inside it, but apparently there was a problem, so we have had that part canceled. But so be it. There it goes sometimes. It's large.
Electrician up there. Yeah. Get in there and get her wired up. Yep.
I think he's digging a new pit on that side and putting it into that pit over there. That's taken out. Yeah.
Where's my board? Burnt it up and... Crazy off of that area right now. Yes, sir.
You plan on singing?
Am I going to be able to? It doesn't look like it, huh?
I'll get on your way, but...
Yeah.
You're going to sing?
Yeah, probably. Good deep breath. That's good.
God, I hope he's turned out.
You gotta put about 15 feet of fill in there to make the bench level. You know, all the top seams way down there, and that's why we're sitting up so high the way we are. The main seam hole, I think, is 10 or 15 feet. And then our bottom seam is around 4.
I'll maybe done that job and come out with Did you get Jimmy taken care of? Of course. That's I could. Nice, I think Australia is the one that designed this bucket. We're the first ones to ever have this bucket. And Paul Kirk and Toll came over and they looked at it. Sounds like they're going to get one. We're going to get another bucket. We're just 6. Go ahead. I think it's just amazing. It's so smooth to run with this one. You got to fight it so much. So it's so smooth running. I mean, it'll come in and it'll kind of rest itself back out again. But like the earth beater, that thing will just bang all over the place.
Is it a different shape or different materials made out of?
It's actually anything like with dirt. It wants to go in the path of least resistance. So, like, the earth beater's like really like 57, so you see that one, it's really narrow and really tall. Okay, this one here is wide. So, like, where it comes up like that right back there, the dirt will come in and boil over.
46 degrees now.
Got water in the drive.
Yep. That's right.
I think everybody's
Did you guys see how he turned his tires sideways?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, like in a Suburban, to turn a circle, it takes like 28 feet. They can actually turn in 16 feet. So it's pretty incredible. We'll let him go past us. Do you have time right now? No. Okay, we'll just drive down there and you can see where they're loading out of, and then we'll turn around and head out of here.